Hey everyone, it's Sarah, and today I am back to talk about ethereal fragrances. So this is another subscriber requested video. Somebody asked, somebody requested that I talk about ethereal fragrances, which was so fun for me because I don't think I've ever gone through my collection and thought, that certain fragrances are ethereal, but I have a lot of them. This one was super fun for me to go through my collection and pull. So yeah, it's funny because I have a ton of fragrances that I would consider definitely ethereal in my collection. In fact, these are probably not all of them. But I'm gonna jump right in because I do have a lot here. I've got, I don't know, like 15, 20 maybe. I didn't even count. So the first one that I want to talk about is one that was just sent over to me by a dear friend. This is a beautiful fragrance, and yeah, I feel like even the bottle looks ethereal. So this is from L'Occitane. Oh, is that how you say that? L'Occitane? Well, this is it's cherry blossom perfume. And this is beautiful. It's one of those fragrances that you almost can't smell out of the bottle. Oh gosh. And it does smell kind of strange when you first spray it on your skin. But this is one that once it dries down, it smells like a light, very delicate, ethereal cherry blossom. Like a typical cherry blossom scent. Which if you guys are familiar with cherry blossom, that's basically what it smells like. But there's something very, very fresh about this. It's definitely got similarities with like Japanese cherry blossom from Bath & Body Works, but that is, but the Bath & Body Works one is so like intense compared to this. This is very soft and light. It's very lightly sweet. It's very airy, very delicate smelling, and it's just beautiful. It's also one of those fragrances that just meshes so well with my skin chemistry. I've always done really, really well with cherry blossom, and there's something really, really special about this one. So yeah, when she sent me a box and I saw this fragrance in there, I was like, oh my gosh. Oh, number one, L'Occitane fragrances for me are super hard to find. Like I never come across them. And this one is such a beauty. I think I went through a mini of this years and years ago. It's been, gosh, I wouldn't even be able to tell you, like years ago. It's been probably more than 15 years ago. Oh my gosh, but this is so beautiful. I love this. Yeah, it's just a beautiful, light, delicate, like ethereal cherry blossom scent. So anyways, that is cherry blossom from L'Occitane. It's so beautiful. Let me know if I'm saying that incorrectly because I honestly don't know. That's just how I guessed it was said. Okay, this next one, I just talked about this fragrance in a video, but as soon as I thought of ethereal, I thought of this fragrance because this is like a really beautiful, kind of like ethereal gourmand musk. And this is the MSK or Musk 004 NTL from Zara. Unfortunately, I don't see this on their website anymore. So I'm thinking that this is not available anymore. But anyways, this is like a really beautiful, light, sweet, like almondy musk. And that's what this is. It's like sugared or candied almonds and musk and like one other thing, but it really does smell, and it doesn't smell almondy at all. It really just smells like a sweet, light, airy musk, and it is very, very ethereal. It's like an ethereal gourmand, which it's so funny because it wasn't until I got one of those Esthero oils that like it's like the first time I've ever smelled something that's fresh and gourmand at the same time. So it's like a fresh gourmand. It's the same thing with this. This is like an ethereal gourmand. It's like I don't know, it's like a category of fragrance that I had never even thought of before, but it definitely is. It's very light and delicate but still sweet. And still it has that kind of clean muskiness to it, but while still being sweet and smelling like something that you want to eat. It's very strange, but it's really beautiful and it really works. So anyways, that is MSK or Musk 004 NTL from Zara. Really, really beautiful. This next one, this is like an ethereal summer fragrance, and it's funny because I hadn't thought about it before until I set my eyes on it, and I was like, that is a beautiful, light, delicate, beachy scent that almost smells like a watery pineapple juice. It's just beautiful. This is Summer Breeze from Ocean Pacific, and I just saw there's like a 3-pack of fragrances. I was just in Walmart and I saw it had full sizes, this one and 2 other ones for like $15. I could not believe it. But yeah, there's something about this fragrance that I have always loved. It really does smell like a watery pineapple coconut juice with some light, sweet white florals in the background. And almost like, I don't know, you can almost smell the sand in this, but there's no sand note or anything. But there's something about it that in my head, I can almost smell like a warm sand or something. It's beautiful, but this really is like an ethereal summer fragrance. It's just like a watery, tropical, I don't know, juicy fragrance, but it's delicate. It's very delicate. And yeah, to me, it is a very like ethereal beach fragrance. It's really, really beautiful. So anyways, that is Summer Breeze from Ocean Pacific. It's definitely like an ethereal beach fragrance, which is again, kind of strange, but it just really works. Okay, next is a Zara fragrance, and this one is one that I've always felt smells very ethereal. This is Waterlily Tea Dress, and this is basically like it's like a watery green, astringent floral. It smells like, you know, kind of those astringent purple florals like hyacinth or cyclamen or something like that, but with the green stem and all, but very, very watery and really no sweetness. It's just incredibly fresh. But yes, this fragrance has always smelled incredibly ethereal to me. This one is a crowd pleaser too. People love this fragrance. So anyways, that is Waterlily Tea Dress from Zara. That's another, in my mind, very ethereal. Okay, this next one, this is another ethereal like beach fragrance, but this is like an ethereal vintagey beach fragrance, which is why I love this one. But this one is so fleeting. It lasts all of 5 seconds, seriously. It's one of the worst performing, if not maybe the worst performing fragrance in my collection. That is just the original Jennifer Aniston, but oh my gosh, there is something that I love about this perfume so much. You're probably gonna see this come up in my project pan because this is one that I want to get through because I feel like it's not going to hold up to age well. I feel like I need to get through this before it goes bad. But there's something, this is beautiful, sweet, like slightly sweet, very light, delicate, again, beachy white florals. It's kind of got like a vintage 80s vibe to me. It reminds me of maybe like one of those old, like, I don't know, I think really where it takes my head is Sand and Sable, like a really watery, light version of Sand and Sable. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. It's just such a beautiful fragrance, and it does smell very, very ethereal to me because it's so light and so delicate and so fleeting. Oh, but it is so beautiful. So anyways, that is Jennifer Aniston, just the original Jennifer Aniston. Again, you'll probably see that in a project pan because this is one that I want to get through by the end of this year. Probably by the end of this summer because it's definitely not a cold weather fragrance. Though I should try it in cold weather just to see if it lasts any longer, if it performs any better. I don't know. Okay, these next two are definitely, we're gonna talk about a few oils here, but these next two are definitely probably the most ethereal fragrances I've got in my collection, and these are both oils. So these are oils from Kuumba made. This one is called Persian Garden, and this one is called Persian Star. Persian Star is supposed to be a stronger version of Persian Garden, but these are both fragrances that you can't smell at all until you get them on your skin. The magic happens when they start to warm up with your body chemistry or with the heat of your body. Oh gosh. And they are, I couldn't even tell you like what they smell like, because I feel like these are also fragrances that are going to smell different on different people. But yeah, these are just like, they end up just kind of smelling like warm, clean, slightly spiced skin. These really are very, very ethereal. These are the kinds of fragrances that it's like people are not gonna even know you've got fragrance on. They're gonna think that you just smell like that you just smell amazing. They're just very, I don't know. They really are very delicate, very warm, very skin-like, and very, very ethereal. Beautiful. So anyways, that is Persian Garden and Persian Star from Kuumba made. Woo, it's getting warm in here. It's getting warm. Okay, this next one, this is another oil that is kind of newer to my collection. This is from Esthero or by Esthero. This one is called Heaven Scent, and gosh, this is beautiful. This one is hard to explain. It's like she explains it as like a musky citrus or like a musty citrus and light musk, and that's, I would definitely say it is kind of like a dusty citrus and very light musk, but it's one of those fragrances that, again, it's like the Persian Garden, but this is much more intense than the Persian Garden. This one you can smell for sure, but as it warms on your skin, it changes and kind of morphs, and it's gonna, again, depend on your skin chemistry, but it's beautiful. It's kind of musky and citrusy and clean and very, very light, and Heaven Scent is like the perfect name for it, and I would definitely classify this as a very beautiful ethereal fragrance. It's stunning. I love it so, so much. So anyways, that one is Heaven Scent by Esthero, and it's just beautiful. Okay, next we have another one. I did just talk about this, I think, in my first spring video. This is such a beautiful watery green fragrance. This is Rain from Commodity, and every time I go to put the notes on the screen or to put the notes in when I'm editing, and I read the notes from this, like the notes in my mind don't match what I'm actually smelling in the bottle. To me, this smells like a very, very watery green, almost like garden-like kind of fragrance. It's very, very lightly sweet. It's like a really beautiful, lightly sweetened green fragrance. It almost reminds me of like a green juice. How a truly green juice smells, like fresh pressed green juice. That's what this reminds me of, but it is very ethereal smelling to me. It's like a very light, delicate, slightly sweet, watery, very fresh green fragrance, and I absolutely love this one. So anyways, that one is Rain from Commodity, and it's beautiful. I've got so many. I've got to get moving here because I'm only halfway through. This is gonna be a forever long video. But anyways, okay, next we've got a couple of rose fragrances, and I love a good delicate ethereal rose. So this is Stella, the EDT formulation, and this one is this is such a beautiful, very light, bright, delicate rose. This has got I think it's like iced grapefruit or iced lemon or iced something in the top notes. It is almost cold smelling. It's so light and airy and delicate, and ethereal is the perfect word for it. It's not sweet. It's not sweet at all. It's quite, yeah, it's just really, really fresh. and citrusy and lovely. It definitely smells like the original Stella, but it's such a delicate version of it. It's just beautiful. It's a very beautiful, very ethereal smelling rose. So anyways, that is Stella, the Eau de Toilette formulation. Okay, and then the next ethereal rose fragrance that I've got is this one from Guerlain. This is Aqua Allegoria Rosa Rasa. And oh my gosh, this is another one that is so fresh and light and delicate smelling, but this one has a touch of a sweetness to it. And this one's a little bit more modern smelling than the Stella. This one's a little bit funner, a little bit, I don't know, a little bit more youthful smelling, but just very light and airy and delicate and ethereal smelling. It is an ethereal rose for sure. So anyways, that is Aqua Allegoria Rosa Rasa, such a beauty. Okay, next we have a Chanel fragrance, and this is one that every time I think about this or see this fragrance, I really do feel like it's a very ethereal fragrance, and that is Chanel Chance Eau Tendre. And yeah, I feel like even with the marketing with this one and the name of it, it definitely is like a very ethereal fragrance. Now this one is much sweeter. This is like a very, very light citrusy floral with a touch of sweetness. It's gorgeous. I love this fragrance, and it definitely reminds me of, like, I don't know, it reminds me of ballerinas and just lightness, and it's super fresh. But it's very, very delicate smelling, and it reminds me of like fresh, I don't know, delicate spring buds or something. It's really, really beautiful. So anyways, that is Chanel Chance Eau Tendre. That one I definitely feel like is a very ethereal fragrance. It just, I don't know, it just gives you ethereal vibes even when you smell it. Next we have another Guerlain fragrance. This is another one that every time, even the way this looks in the bottle and the name of it and everything about this is a very ethereal fragrance. Though I will say this is probably the heaviest fragrance on this list because it is a Shalimar. This is Eau de Shalimar, but to me this is a very, very light, delicate, ethereal version of Shalimar. This is very sweet. It's got a load of vanilla in it, and it's got iris in it. So it's got this touch of powderiness, but it still has a load of citrus in it as well. So you really get a lot of, it's like a citrusy, fluffy vanilla and iris version of Shalimar. And to me, this screams ethereal because it's an incredibly ethereal version of Shalimar. And it's so weird. My liquid is turning like bright green, which is the strangest. I store this in a dark, cool cabinet, but every time I pull it out, it's like a hint more lime green or like fluorescent green. It's so weird, which I think Parfum Initial does that as well. It turns like a bright neon yellow color. It's really weird. In fact, I need to pull out my Parfum Initial and see if it's done that. But anyways, beautiful, beautiful vanilla, iris, citrusy, ethereal version of Shalimar. It's beautiful. So anyways, that is Eau de Shalimar from Guerlain. Thank you so much to Perfume Collection and Reviews. We swapped. I had an extra bottle of Parfum Initial. She had an extra bottle of this, and we swapped it. And I'm so grateful because if it weren't for her, I would never have been able to have this in my collection. Because this is so difficult to find at this point. So anyways, yeah. Okay, this next one is one that, oh gosh. This is ethereal in a different way. There is something, this one is really even hard for me to explain. This is a fragrance from Untamed, and I would say that her fragrances in general just have an ethereal quality to them, like all of them, even though some of them are very dense and intense. but they've all got an ethereal quality to them, and I think it's because they're so incredibly unique and they take you on a journey somewhere. And this one is no different. This one is called Shaped by the Wild. This is Charlotte's favorite fragrance on the planet, and I think that that's why, because there's something about this that transports you to like another time and another place. It's very lightly smoky. It's very lightly green and cedary. It smells kind of like wet earth. It's got a sweetness to it. It takes you to another place completely. And there's something so, like I said, there's something so ethereal about every single fragrance that she makes. But there's something about this one that is just like, I don't know, it's like a different world. I just love it so much. It's very hard for me to explain. I almost didn't include this one because I don't know how to explain it. But it's amazing, and I couldn't leave it off the list because it's definitely on this entire list. It might be the most like, I don't know, is ethereal the word? Otherworldly? I don't know. It's definitely not delicate smelling. I don't know. It's a different kind of ethereal, I guess. But anyways, that one is called Shaped by the Wild from Untamed. It's amazing. Okay, this next one, this is definitely an ethereal fragrance. This is called Sunrise in Quebec from Salvador Dali. This fragrance has become so difficult to find, and I'm so sad about that because this is amazing. This is like an ethereal amber fragrance. Absolutely. That's why, like, a lot of Hermes fragrances smell very ethereal to me. Like a lot of them. And this smells almost exactly like Eau de Marveille from Hermes. And it's this beautiful, bright, crisp, citrusy, orangey, light amber. And it is incredibly ethereal smelling. It kind of reminds you of like Christmas, but in the middle of the summer, which is very strange, but it is like a very light, delicate, ethereal amber fragrance. So, gosh, take a shot every time I say ethereal, and you're gonna be lit by the end of this video. Oh my gosh, because I've said it a million times, but it's hard to not say that when that's what the whole theme is. But anyways, that is Sunrise in Quebec from Salvador Dali, and it's amazing. Okay, 3 more. This next one, this is beautiful. Even the name of this one like makes you think ethereal. This is Lavender Illusion from Viktor and Rolf. This is from the Magic collection, and this is amazing. This is like super strong medicinal lavender, but this has got a lime note in it too, but without any sweetness. It's just a very dry, tart lime. So you get this slightly powdery, very strong medicinal lavender and a very dry, tart lime, and you add that together and you get this very delicate, fresh, citric lavender fragrance. And it's beautiful. There's not a touch of sweetness in this. It's very dry. And I think because of that, that's why it smells so wispy and so ethereal. It's beautiful. This is a fragrance, like you would have to pry this out of my cold dead hands. Like, this is a fragrance that will never leave my collection. I love it so much. It's amazing. So anyways, that is Lavender Illusion from Viktor and Rolf. It's so good. Okay, this next one, this is another one. This is done by, I don't know why I can't remember his name right now, but this is the perfumer that does a lot of the fragrances for Hermes. He did the whole like Un Jardin line. He does a lot. I think he did the Eau de Marveille line. He just makes the most beautiful, light, delicate, ethereal smelling fragrances. And this one here, this is Eau de Lalique. This is no different. Oh my gosh. If you have, I think it's Pearl de Lalique, or I think Pearl de Lalique. It's the one in the white bottle. I used to have that. It just wasn't for me, so I ended up passing it on. But that's another very, very ethereal fragrance. This one is very, very light, delicate. Very, very light, delicate florals and woods. And some citruses. But this is, like, I would say this is one of the most ethereal fragrances in my collection for sure. It's so light and airy and wispy, and it's just beautiful. I love it. I think this one unfortunately has long been discontinued, and I wish I could remember the name of that perfumer right now, but I just can't. You guys will know who I'm talking about though. But anyways, that is Eau de Lalique, just beautiful. And then last but not least is a Juliette Has a Gun perfume. And I would say in general, most Juliette Has a Gun fragrances smell very ethereal to me. And I think it's because of the use of the very light aroma chemicals. They're just different kinds of fragrances. This one is Pear Ink, and I love this. This is Pear and Ambroxan. Yeah, or Pear and Ambrette. It's very lightly sweet. It's very, very delicate smelling. It's like a very light, ethereal, fruity pear fragrance. It's fresh. Oh gosh. It's just beautiful. And like I said, I feel like most Juliette Has a Gun fragrances are very ethereal smelling. Not a Perfume is very ethereal. Moscow Mule is very ethereal. This one is Lipstick On, I would say, is maybe not as ethereal because it's got a lot more body to it than most other Juliette Has a Gun fragrances. But yeah, a lot of, well, I would say maybe half of them are. I feel like the ones in these kind of clear colored bottles are the more ethereal than the ones in the solid white bottles. Some of them, like Sunny Side Up and Miss Charming, and some of those ones can be a little bit stronger, have a little bit more body to them than these ones. These ones are definitely more wispy and delicate and airy and light and a little bit more evasive for other people to smell. Or maybe it's the other way around. Maybe other people can smell it better. So anyways, guys, that one is Juliette Has a Gun Pear Ink. And that is gonna be it. I definitely had more that I could have pulled. I've got a ton of Hermes fragrances down there that would have fit the bill perfectly, but I definitely wanted to keep this manageable, and this video was already way too long as it is. But I do hope that you all enjoyed this. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I will see you guys very, very soon.